1, 2, 3, 4.
In this podcast, you will hear Knights of Vader, includes, but is not led to talk of Star Wars, not Reagan's. We can't truly prepare for the joke that follows this song, but hey, we gave it a try, so here's the Knights of Vader. Crystal Fox reports they are divided. Prequel, sequel, hate and love they fight. I know that we are just musicians hired, and their time is up, so here's the Knights of Vader.
Impressive. Most impressive.
I know it's not the actual Bluey character, it's Bluey's dad.
Yeah, exactly. It's Bandit. Come on, know the stuff.
I know, but like,
why?
Chris is
Why
more
is it
interested
back
in
there?
my diction.
Of course we've got tapestries. It's a castle. Come on.
No, I mean it's got an interesting origin to it. In all honesty.
Oh, great.
Did you do that needlepoint yourself?
Yeah, I did, but after I was done with it, no, I was sitting there and my buddy like orders tapestries from some website all the time. So I was like,
wrong.
So I was like, dude, how much do one of these cost? He's like, oh, like a small's like $20, medium's 30, large is like 40, and then extra large is like 60. I'm like, okay, well, what size is it? And he says, oh, it's the size of this one. He just names one that's in his office, and I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking it's like the size of like this thing. I was wrong.
How much that cost you?
$30 was shipping.
That's not bad.
And it's folded in too. Like there's 5 or 6 inches on each side. I had to fold in to get it to fit in that area. And that came from like a rip of something too. Like, you know, oh man, I can't say it because in case we're sponsored by Displate at some point, they're going to come after me for the fact that I ripped it from their site.
Nice.
Oh,
Leave it all in.
Oh, hell of a cold open to this week's Knights of Vader.
Are we going to explain what it is? Did I even point out what it is?
Go ahead, Zenger. Explain to the audience at home.
Okay, so if you look up, it's fine. It's this dog like image.
If you've been on the internet once in the last 20 years, you've seen it at some point.
Yeah, yes. It's a dog sitting in a chair with a coffee cup and flames all around him. Well, instead of the dog, it's the dad from Bluey, Bandit, sitting there. And just I loved it. But like I said, I thought it was going to be smaller. It really clashes with the Empire on the other side.
And the Chiefs pendant above the door.
No, that's the... God dang it! No! Bengals!
God damn it, Jason Kelsey. Why are you rooting for another team?
I'm wearing green today because it's St. Patrick's Day, too. I had a green and black combo going. Everyone at the gym had Fly Eagles Fly. It was a painful day for everybody involved.
All right. I'm just going to forego the regular opening to this week's episode. This is a farce. Let's just continue with it. It should be said, if all the stuff in like everybody's background, whether it be sexy Darth Talon statue, the Royal Dalton China cabinet, and Joe, I'm trying to think, what's the most fun thing you have behind you?
It's the Titan.
That's in the foreground, not the background.
Me. It's not behind me, but it is in front of me. But it will be in shot soon. Oh, yeah. My!
I mean, that's the best thing in Joe's collection. I don't even know what he has, and that's the best thing.
That is, or my rice cooker that's back there.
Yeah. Tough choice between the two.
And I got a case pack of Tutarosa crushed tomatoes, unless anyone's looking for any. One.
Yeah, like, we do mention it every episode, but Joe has a 1/12 scale Titan sub that he just picked up. Just wrap your heads around that for a minute.
Made. That is a...
I meant you physically picked it up, but sure. Yes, you 3D printed it.
But
I go pick up my Thrawn Pop figure I finally got.
It's a pencil holder. Because what else are you going to do with the Titan sub?
No. You should have made the hole in the front a pencil sharpener.
See, that's phase 2. All right.
We have phases.
That's phase 2, because we have the spot right there, which would be great for it. All I have to do is make it modular so I can put it back on after I put one of those things in. But then I need something where the shavings come out of. So that is
no.
You're
See,
reading my mind.
You let it build up enough pressure to where.
All right, listen. I really stopped myself from going there, and now we're gonna just have to deal with it.
Yay! Another edit caused by me.
Yeah.
Good job, Zenger. Phase 3 is it's a video game controller for the Logitech controller they used on there.
Yeah. It's just a pointless aesthetic clip onto a PlayStation 5 controller. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, folks. So we are Zenger, that's too high tech for what they use. Put that down. All right, this week's discussion, all bunch of things, but really, Chris, do you want to tell the audience what thing we stole from someone's Twitter account that we found so funny that actually incited us recording this? What was the exact phrasing?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff going on out there that we don't understand, and it involves cloning and dark magic and stuff. And we saw on Twitter somebody had an article where the headline was "Somehow Patty Jenkins returned," and I didn't, that might have more power than any other Star Wars quote at this current time in history, which is just crazy. But I don't know if I believe it, but Patty Jenkins herself is claiming that I think her exact words were, "I owe Lucasfilm a script," which is like, where have you been? What's going on? Where's the communication been? I don't believe you. You can try and give them one and they'll just not make it. I don't know. I think a lot of things about it.
What's really funny is that there are Hollywood insiders, not Star Wars nerds or the professional fandom, that are claiming that Rogue Squadron is still not in active development at Lucasfilm. And if they decide to even pursue the project, she will most likely not direct it. That's what I find funny is that, like you said, it might be more of a legal technicality or a contractual obligation than it is a genuine creative endeavor on Patty Jenkins' part. It might be something like, Patty, we probably gave you $3 million for a script. You got to give us something, man. And if we ever make this, at least you'll get a story by credit.
Yeah, that could be. And then there's also, maybe it's just sort of an optics thing where it's the look of canceling things and sweeping them under the rug without further comment. Somebody's just, maybe this issue came up as sort of a marketing thing that they could do better on. Who knows? Maybe they don't have to follow it up from here, but there'll be a script for Rogue Squadron that will eventually be leaked in 5 years after it doesn't get made, and we can all read it.
Kind of fascinating how all this stuff goes through the machinations. I imagine there must be filing cabinets filled with concept art from all these failed I don't want to say productions, but just ideas. Right? That's the first thing they do is put concept artists on this, just to at least they're right. At some point, this is all going to be its own book 20 years from now. Well,
it reminds me of the Art of the Force Awakens, where you can see awesome Darth Talon, which I'm shocked they published that concept art in there, but so they did. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the movie that eventually came out. But I don't know if I haven't looked at the Art of Rogue One in a while. I don't know how much it features the alternate version of the film.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Well, I think the biggest thing for that is just Sergeant Jyn Erso. That's kind of the biggest remnant of OG Rogue One is all the Sergeant Jyn Erso merchandise. Kind of amazing that still nothing's really leaked from that. We considering how much Ben Mendelsohn is being passed around the interview circuit for second-rate podcast, that no one's ever asked him, been hey, so what was it like? You think there's got to be a weak link in all that where someone's just going to eventually be oh yeah, we did all this and this is what it meant, this is what behind it. Or the actors really were kind of just thrown into the deep end and had no idea, because still the final Lucasfilm word on the reshoots is Darth Vader was done 3 months before the film came out, 4 months. And that's always been their happy spin on the Rogue One reshoot drama.
Yeah. It needed a headline, and I guess that got the job done.
So Zenger, how excited are you 3.5, nearly 4 years later since announcement for Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron?
Oh, I'm currently reading every review right now for Battlefront. So,
of course, we had to get to that.
I mean, we can. I can talk about the Patty Jenkins thing if you want me to. Hold on, I think I already posted about it, didn't I? I can't remember. It all seems like irrelevant and pointless because I mean, it's not like it's gonna come out in any time frame we will live in.
The funny thing is, and I suggest you all try this. Everyone listening should try this. You know, find the an AI description of the Rogue Squadron movie has been posted in here by Joe. You know, Joe, you might be able to infer some plot details about Rogue Squadron if Disney had respect for the expanded universe media, but they don't. So it'll probably be nothing about the Rogue Squadron video game or the X-Wing novels, which are all about Rogue Squadron, because none of that, they're not even aware it exists. It's not that they hate it. They're just not even aware that it exists.
It's because it came out all before they were born. That's why. Anything that doesn't come out when they weren't alive doesn't count to them. That's what it is.
Wait. So that's why they're ignoring the original trilogy. Makes sense.
Yes.
It's actually going to be Rogue 1, 2, because they know the word rogue is in both.
Chapter 2.
This time we're getting the Star Killer plans.
Or not another Rogue One.
All right, who wants to read Joe's AI-generated Rogue Squadron?
I would like to.
Continue, Joe.
Star Wars Rogue Squadron is an upcoming Star Wars movie that aims to introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots. The film will delve into their journey as they earn their wings, risk their lives, and engage in high-speed thrill rides in a galaxy far, far away. The plot will be a blend of elements from the extended universe books and video game with fresh material, moving the saga into a future era of the galaxy.
High-speed thrill rides is hilarious.
I mean, that is nuts. You know, it's like, hey, AI knows that there are books about Rogue Squadron. Disney don't know about those.
That's how they're going to know, is because when they put it in, what is Rogue Squadron? And then it's going to, Chat GPT is going to, there's an expanded universe of Star Wars, and then they're going to highlight it so you can actually click on it, and then it'll actually tell them what it's about.
I'm pretty sure there's a mission. It's been a long time since I played the first Rogue Squadron. I'm pretty sure there's a mission where you rescue the defecting General Madine from some like Imperial base or something.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Which is weird because I was just playing Dark Forces where you also rescue General Madine and free him. So I don't know if he just got recaptured or what happened there. But, you know, it seems to be a very popular, highly chronological expanded universe plot line because he's
a double agent.
He just gets recaptured every 3 months or so. Yeah.
Double.
I didn't mean to do that. Mulligan.
Yeah, seeing that too, opening it. You know, I've been cruising through the Dark Forces remaster. I'm on the last level and I'm really savoring it. I took a crack at it today, didn't quite make it. It's fun because there's no saves, but it's weird for a first person shooter because you have 3 lives. But basically once you run out of lives, you just have to start over again. So like I think I got like 80% there and then lost today. But you know, it's funny. Like you run into the when you finally free Madine, you just open this cell in this like maximum security Imperial prison, and like you just have like an 8-bit looking Madine standing there, where they clearly just like downsampled like that stock picture of him. It's pretty good stuff. He just totally inanimate. Yeah, it's great.
All right, Zenger, tell us about the controversy with the Star Wars.
I'm trying to look up other stuff right now. I was going to look up the reviews for Dark Forces.
It's awesome. It feels like so playable and modern. It's great. I didn't think I'd be able to get through it. As much as I'm
let's see here.
As much as I like defend the old games, like, you know, it's a bit rough, but if you turn off all the like enhanced settings and you look at what it really looked like in 1995, like you will hurt your eyes.
Okay, there's the classic one. Where is it not under Star Wars? Like, why would you have to search somewhere else? That doesn't make any sense.
It feels like a fan project. It feels like Lucasfilm didn't even know this was made. It's like the branding with the remaster, like it has the logo like redrawn with the word remaster under it, and it looks like I made it. Yeah, it does not look professional. It's amazing.
Okay, so apparently the Steam store doesn't have it under Star Wars for some reason.
Yeah, because they figured if they labeled it that way, no one would mess with it. Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say they definitely messed with something else. I'll get to it.
Anyway, it's great. Highly recommend it. And there's nothing like that level where you cruise through the sewers while being attacked by Dianogas. You know, it's just great. It's good, wholesome fun.
Let's see here. Reviews on this one. Oh, very positive. So pay $30 for a remaster that, I mean, looks like it was still made in the early 90s. And
it's really a lot better looking. You wouldn't even believe it.
But on the other side of that coin,
he's looking up a review of a modern game that will be considered less favorably than 1995 Dark Forces.
Oh God, yes. Here's the thing. I bought it. I bought it beforehand. Like I downloaded it, was all ready to go. Woo, let's do this. And I'm just kind of meh on it. Like everyone's complaining about the online. I'm like, oh, I knew not to get near that. Like what fool thought that was a good idea
Zenger,
to jump into that?
It was already playable on Xbox before they put this new version out. I don't really understand how that's lost on so many people. It was already released for Switch like 2 years ago or something. It's been out there. If you just wanted to play it and didn't care about the multiplayer, we're talking about the Battlefront Classic Edition or whatever the heck it's called.
Currently on Steam, it is overwhelmingly negative with over 5,486 reviews.
As I understand it, it's just because the matchmaking is sort of broken, right?
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Everyone hates the online part of it. The controls are kind of... You can't invert the control. I mean, uninvert the controls for flying, which annoys me. But on that note, one of the reviews is, this is where the refund begins. Let's see here. Biggest fumble of 2024. This is a load of bantha poop.
It's really not the biggest fumble considering it's like a game they've already made so much money on and they just added multiplayer to it badly. But there wasn't a lot of investment.
They had multiplayer originally too.
But it was like way less players, yeah.
Well, they didn't have enough servers up. There was a ton of issues with it. Like I said, I got the game because I was like, oh, cool, I'll play, the single player stuff because that's fun. I want to do conquest mode and all that stuff, so I'm going through the galaxy, taking over places, running around as Palpatine and stuff.
Does it have those weird like PSP Battlefronts on there?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have those ones.
Those are the ones I want to play. I've never played those.
The thing I love is when the AI gets a kill, especially if it's the rebels, they'll sit there and shoot the body and stare at you as they do it.
Yeah, it did that in the original.
I know. So it proves they did nothing to this game, but just slap a vague like 4K over it. Yeah. Look how they massacred my boy is all I have to say about this. I'm just gonna.
Oh wow, they'll update it and it'll be fine.
I'm just gonna randomly go through. Don't play this game if you intend to play with your friends from another country. This game is region locked. That one's not as funny. Oh, someone just telling you to buy Helldivers 2. I can agree with that.
I'm sorry, but the original Battlefront when I played it was amazing.
Oh no, it was. Oh, here we go. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection was the most disappointing thing since my son. I mean, how much could you possibly screw up a port of a 20-year-old game?
Oh, man.
Well,
I'm telling you, there's some solid ones in here. You just got to give me a minute to find them.
I mean, Rockstar set the standard for screwing up a port of a 20-year-old game when they released the cell phone versions of GTA 3 and Vice City on console.
Obsessive cash grab. Only 3 servers were available with a total of 64 player caps at launch. 30 frames per second locked for online Battlefront 2. Controllers feels unplayable. Random acceleration. X and Y axis are wildly unsynced. Yeah, I can agree with that. I know this wasn't an original game, but how do you add Galactic Conquest? How did you not add Galactic Conquest mode online? True.
Hate to see it. Zach, you clearly have no interest in this whatsoever, even though it came out in 2004 and you probably should have had it. I don't understand you.
I played
Also
it. I just didn't care.
gigs.
I don't care about remasters. Like it's derivative. I want Star Wars Battlefront 3, like as in the sequel to 2017. Like I miss Battlefront 2, not being able to play that all the time. My favorite game modes, they like mixed in with like a bunch of other like modes, and it sucks now, and I miss it. But no, Battlefront 2 2005 was like played that religiously back in the day.
Well,
then there was like really no. But then like much like now after 2005, Lucasfilm just stopped caring about like online shooting games for roughly a decade. So I look forward to Battlefront 2025 next year. Shocking to think that that like every 10 years we get a new Star Wars Battlefront, like, oh God, redo. Strange to think of it that way, but that's apparently the pattern that we're living in.
This reviewer points out that Asajj Ventress and her model was broken. Her left hand's lightsaber came out of her armpit for some reason.
I hate it when that happens.
Also, this takes up 65 gigs of disk space for some reason.
That's unsettling.
That is unsettling.
Considering it fit on a DVD back in the day. Yeah, which is 4.7 something gigs. Fascinating.
I'm gonna keep reading through these and just randomly say good ones every now and then.
Hopefully, we're in the middle of talking about something else at the time.
God, I'm allowing that to happen.
All right, so Chris, we are getting Calrissian Endor Season 1 and Obi-Wan Kenobi on Blu-ray. How does that make you feel?
Obi-Wan Kenobi, the complete series.
Yes, they're actually labeling it that. Thank God. Thank God we're not getting more from that creative team. Like,
that's a headline.
It is, and it's a good headline. I've never been so happy for the lack of more Star Wars content before.
I think they call that a confirmed kill.
On that note, purchase game, downloaded a 70 gig port for a 2006 game, launch game, nostalgia, EXE, played 10 minutes online, not like the simulator JPEG, refund.
That was a mouthful.
I mean, give it a couple weeks. They'll have a good patch out. Like, people are such babies. It's like, this is God tier game. You can't be getting refunds. Idiots.
That'd be the most Chris thing he's ever said before.
I'd rather smash my blank with a brick than play this crap again.
This is how hyperbolic this generation is. You know, I mean, you can't get one match on matchmaking. You're ready to just throw your keyboard out the window. It's terrible. Just come back in a week. They'll fix it. They're not allowed the press. They don't want to hear about it like this.
What's really kind of fascinating is, like, I remember back in the closest thing I ever had to something like this, where like it was an absolute calamity upon release, was the Friday the 13th video game. I remember when that came out, and like oh God, like I think it debuted like at like 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it was just like for like a week it was a mess, and like it took them months and they finally cleaned it up, but it's kind of par for the course. But like we've said before, I don't think Lucasfilm is aware any of this is happening, much like Jorge back in the days of like the late 90s, early 2000s. I think they're just licensing things out to people, and they're like, it's so funny how far we've come from like Bob Iger calling up the head of EA being like, clean it up now or else. And now they're just like, like the level of like passive indifference from Disney regarding the IP is kind of refreshing, even if it's for something they don't care about. But
it makes me realize how few people are playing that Dark Forces remaster. All the stories there are about the bad matchmaking on Battlefront tells me that like I'm one of 5 people who bought the Dark Forces remaster. But
I just haven't played it.
It wasn't
that
cheap.
much.
Right? You got it to not play it. That's crazy.
Exactly.
You're telling me Zenger bought something off Steam and then did not immediately like get involved with it? It doesn't sound like Zenger.
No, I played the first level at least.
See? That's progress for Zenger. Usually he would just buy it and just walk away from it forever.
Yeah, like other things.
The Dark Forces remaster has bonus content that is actually interesting. Like it has a behind the scenes like animatic where it shows that they bought a Re-Yee's action figure and did like a turnaround photos of it, and they based like the character sprite on that action figure, which is why like, you know, it's so evocative of the toy when you like blow away like 1,000 Re-Yee's in that game. It's pretty good stuff. And they have like concept art, and they even have an unused first level, which was part of a like CES booth display like in 1994, which they determined was actually too hard to be the first level. So they took it out and made a new first level, and you can play that in the bonus features.
Interesting.
It's pretty good stuff.
So there is one recommended one I stumbled across. I played Battlefront 1 religiously for 20 years. Good for you. And what you've done is something that not even God can forgive. But since no one's going to read this, suck a hot out of my... So
he literally just stopped playing the original one the day the remaster came out, and he got mad.
Yeah, of course.
Come on, you'd be mad too if you've been doing it for 20 years and you like look up into the sun and it burns your eyes. You'd be mad too.
Although, you know, but I wonder what happens, because like if you just like, because I have, even on Xbox One, like if you put in the original game, it would download like a up-res version of it. So I guess you can still do that, but it's not the remaster.
Why would you up-res this? You're supposed to have the quality of complete, like, realize games have improved.
There's no benefit to playing a game in low res, no matter how old it is. I won't hear it. That's like watching a VHS on purpose instead of like a better format. It just makes no sense.
I got a pro and con. Someone did a pro and con. Pros: loading screens bring back childhood memories. Story/campaign is fun and awesome, just how I remember it. Runs really well on my PC. Of course it runs on your PC, dude.
What a pointless comment.
If your PC could open Chrome, it can run this. Also, it has great movie cutscenes. I don't see that as a pro.
There's no cutscenes in the original Battlefront, like barely.
Con, very bad online service. Okay, thanks. Like every other thing is talking about this. Yeah, it's all just about the online service. That's all the cons are. So
I can't.
Which
wait,
I don't play the online service because I knew it was going to be crap.
First on launch it will be. Zach, going back to your attempt to bring up the physical media releases of Andor and Obi-Wan. I can't wait. As soon as this call's over, I'm gonna go make like a meme where it like red circles like the complete series and like have like, you know, like some religious music playing, like maybe the Ewok celebration, you know, something like that. Maybe, you know, and put in the clip of like the Emperor statue being toppled over. Yeah.
We so free.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah. But, and then the Andor Steelbook, I'll buy it just on principle. Yeah.
Good. That's fair. Like I said, like I'll never argue which one had more merit. Oh God. What a mess. I
got another breakdown one if you want me to read that.
Oh, no.
Graphics. You forget what reality is. Beautiful, good, decent, bad. Don't look at it for too long. And MS-DOS.
Oh, geez.
It got a don't look at it for too long.
Is that the Dark Forces or Battlefront?
Oh, no. Battlefront had good reviews. I mean, sorry, not Battlefront. Dark Forces had good reviews. I'm not going to read those. What's the fun in that?
Yeah, but that's because only Men of Culture downloaded it. So
exactly.
The people who knew what it was. Yeah.
Well, this person has a Mandalorian as their picture, so I think they're a man of culture as well.
I don't know about that.
Gameplay, very good. Good. It's just gameplay. Meh. Watching paint dry instead. Just don't.
Amazing.
They gave it a meh.
Is that you? Is that your pseudonym online?
Meh.
Sounds like the type of review you would give.
It might be. Audio. Eargasm. Very good. Good. Not too bad. Bad. I'm now deaf. Not too bad. I will say the audio mixing is awful because I have to like crank it up to hear anything. Audience, good for kids, teens, adults, and grandma. PC requirements. Check if you can run Paint. Potato, decent, fast, rich boy. Ask NASA for a computer. It is check if your computer can run Paint. Game size, floppy disk, old fashioned, workable, big. Will eat 10% of your 1 terabyte hard drive. It basically does. I mean, it's almost 100. It's like 60 some gigs. That's like close to 10%. Right?
When you're talking about MS-DOS and Paint, I thought you were talking about Dark Forces again. They're saying that about Battlefront?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no. They said, can it run Paint is the requirements for the computer.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it keeps going like this, so I'm just going to stop at this one. Oh, wait, price. It's free, worth the price if it's on sale. If you have spare money left, not recommended, you could also just burn your money. It's one above that. They said not recommended, but burning your money, it's not that bad, at least.
Yeah, that's crazy talk. Like the campaign, it's cheaper than the Dark Forces remaster, I think.
No, it isn't.
It's not?
It's more expensive.
Okay. Whatever. The campaign's worth the price, I'm sure. It looks good.
It's worth $30 of your hard-earned American or Canadian loon.
Dark Forces was like $48 Canadian. I was like, damn, no wonder no one's buying that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got the first one for like $19 at Electronics Boutique.
Yeah. Well, that sounds low even for 1995. Video game prices have sort of been inflation resistant from a marketing standpoint. Like they've been like $50 or $60. Like a lot of console stuff, like early Nintendo games were like $50.
No, or early them were like 60 sometime. I mean,
Yeah,
sorry, 70
PC.
sometime. Yeah.
That's Joe. That's like a bestseller edition or something. That's not even the first edition of Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. Come on, man. You gotta get the big box.
I think I had the box still.
Yeah, that's like
Weird like that.
Yeah, that green one came out later.
Trying to find out when this was. This was
the
97.
game's 97. Yeah,
Yeah.
high quality material.
It was a good sequel, though. It was a good sequel.
They're all It's great. The numerical format. It's like Dark Forces, Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, and then Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. Not confusing at all.
No.
There's no 3s, even though there's 4 games in the series. It's awesome. There's only 2s. But Zach, have you heard the exciting news that locations and characters from the Ahsoka TV show are going to be made into Star Tours ride scenarios?
See, that was on next on my that was next on my list because
grievances?
It's funny because they're only showing us footage from the Ahsoka one. Mandalorian and Grogu could be literally anything. We can only hope they're like fighting the like giant like spinach monster from season 3. I can only hope that's the villain of the segment with Mandalorian. Calrissian Endor, who's the villain of that going to be? Like who's the villain of that? Just like watching blonde-haired lady from that show just talk in a boardroom? Like who's or what? Cyril Karn's like mother? Like I don't know how you make Andor exciting. Like for a theme park ride. It's like West Wing the ride.
It'll be that pirate they killed off screen. That pirate, the bald guy, Krieger.
Oh, is that he's the bad guy? It's like, oh no, Calrissian Endor, watch out for Anton Krieger. The collective cab of the Star Tours is just like, huh? Like really lurches forward. And like the Disney executives are like, oh, is the simulator broken? No, everybody's just collectively confused all at once.
He was like a VFX guy who got a cameo. And it's almost like it would have been the way the show ended up. It's almost like it would have been better if they never showed him, because you see him like once on a hologram and then you just hear that he died off screen. It's like, what was the point of even showing us what he looked like?
He actually has like a page, like in the Calrissian Endor Obi-Wan Kenobi visual dictionary book that came out a couple months ago. He has like a page, like he has more lore and a backstory Then I always forget his name. Who's your favorite rebellion character from Kenobi, Chris? The guy who saves Leia. Roken, yes. He has Roken literally has like 2 sentences. It's like, this is Roken. And then like there's an arrow, and that's the extent of his lore. His Funko Pop has more lore written on the box than the reference book does.
The Krieger actor is on the convention circuit too. Imagine the audacity. I'm in one hologram. Yeah, I think he had a more real crew role than his hologram role as Anton Krieger.
Wait,
he was like a model maker or something.
What the crap? Sorry, I'm reading stuff about Dune.
Oh no,
I'm angry. I don't want to say this thing out loud.
Dude, one of my old man Star Wars collector friends like messaged me. He's like, I watched Dune. It made me sad that we'll never get a Star Wars movie that good. That's what he said.
That's a very specific take from that movie. Very specific take.
No, because I was wondering if certain characters in it, and they're like, no. And I'm like, but they're kind of essential to a lot of the plot.
Zenger, did you like audiobook Dune?
Of course.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure.
I can't pronounce half those words.
When do we get to see the space? When do we get to see the Space Guild in Denis Villeneuve Dune?
God, there's so much. Wait, you saw them in the first movie?
Like barely, for like half a second.
Yeah, they're sitting there walking around with them orange helmets on, and you're like, they're fish people. I want to see it. Let me see their weird faces.
I want to see a navigator, Zenger. I want to see like melted goo man, like navigator. That or bust.
I was about to say, I mean, they're setting up for this third one, which I guess will conclude it because they're pansies and don't want to go full all out Dune.
They don't want to go full J.K. Rowling and do Crimes of Grindelwald where they just run it straight into the ground.
Oh, no.
Only 9 hours and like $1 billion of budget. That's only what they're doing, Zinger.
No, I mean later on. I mean you get the God Emperor stuff where like he becomes a sandworm. I mean, why are we not going to go down that path?
Give them time, Zenger.
That's shark jumping type stuff.
It's not jumping the shark. It just happens. We also have a time skip of 3,000 years for no goddamn reason. Oh yeah, just to show that time's moved on, and for some reason Duncan Idaho can't die.
Duncan Idaho, greatest fake name ever.
Iowa Smith, baby.
Joe, Duncan Idaho is the inverse of it. They had to get creative. Frank Herbert had to do something.
He used old-fashioned chat GPT. Ask a crazy person.
I'll have to say cocaine, but sure, that works too. Chris, have you seen the articles online, like a Frank Herbert from like in the late 70s, early 80s, being like, George Lucas, he ripped off my thing because nobody has imagination anymore. Like, it's great. Like, all these Dune fan accounts are posting this being like, Dune was the original Star Wars. And you see all that stuff, and it's like, yes, George Lucas stole from everybody equally.
No. Unless in the end, Ben Solo becomes Jabba the Hutt, like literally becomes Jabba the Hutt. He did not steal nothing from nobody.
Well, it's
and I stand by that.
It doesn't say very much about old man Frank Herbert, because like what was stolen is like surface level window dressing. Like the spice thing is a little bit direct. I'm kind of even surprised they did it back then, because it's just so like, you know, that exact thing. That's what we're talking about here. That it's like an object. Yeah. Well, it's more than that. It's like a direct reference almost. It's like very strange in retrospect now that we have good Dune movies that people know about. Yeah.
Yes, good Dune movies.
Kind of funny to think that even in the last Star Wars movie, the phrase "Spice Runners" said out loud numerous times. Like, that's kind of fascinating when you think about it. That's like a weird through line from like A to Z. That like, think about how many like outside of like, oh God, not even what movies say spice? Empire doesn't say it. Jedi doesn't say it. I don't think any of the prequels say it. Like, it's weird to think that it's like, right? Like,
well, what's really weird is that they eventually go to Kessel and they're not mining spice.
No, they're not.
They got a coaxium mine adjacent to the spice mine on Kessel. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. They got all the mines on Kessel, I guess.
They got the good stuff there.
Maybe that's what you do. You help Calrissian Endor. Oh, can you imagine if they did Smuggler's Run combined with Calrissian Endor? So you have to have Calrissian Endor steal a bunch of like credits from the Imperial Vault while there's fireworks in the sky, guys. Jim Cummings trying to do the Hondo voice came to the finish line without cracking up halfway through.
Andor really just doesn't translate well to Star Tours. Like, like he's been.
Oh, that's why I'm so excited for it.
He's been boozing all night. He gets out of bed with some woman. He like leaves her and doesn't talk to her before he gets in a spaceship. And then like,
where's my sister?
Gets arrested for like 6 months.
The best part. You know what the Andor Star Tours? Joe, go plug into Chat GPT Star Tours Andor segment and see what it gives you. It's Andy Serkis being like, I can't swim, and it's like, no, it's okay, Andy Serkis. Here's the Star Speeder 1000 as it like awkwardly comes to like the little platform you can hop on it. Oh my god, it's like what does the Andor this is gonna be my new favorite thing for the next like. Oh god, I think it all debuts like April 3rd. So like we're talking like 2 weeks. That's gonna be my new thing. Like I'm gonna lay awake at night being like Star Tours Andor. What is it like? What sort of like fever dream is the Imagineering team in Lucasfilm going through at this point?
Well, those Disney bloggers are so out of their mind, especially the ones who like live in Florida and go like every weekend. Like you'll have a video of it like the day it comes out.
Oh, I know, but like until then, can you imagine? Because like Lucasfilm / the Disney parks are going to make some sort of. You would assume they're going to have some people there the day of the launch of all this, so you would presume that like it's. I'm not saying like anybody notable. It's not like it's going to be like, oh, Diego Luna's going to be there, but like, can you imagine them showing this to like, oh god, like that. I don't want to say Kathleen Kennedy because that's like that's such an easy target. But can you imagine them showing this and be like, what do you think, Kathy? It's fine. Like it's like Lucas being asked what color does Yoda like bleed, and he's just like green. Like,
well, I mean, to be fair, it's Star Tours. Like there's in the 2011 sequences, you have Vader flying up to you on a floating platform and grabbing your ship with the Force. Like it is already nonsense to begin with.
Great nonsense. Sweet, great nonsense. But that's what I mean, though. Is like, how do you do like this is the same Lucasfilm. I know I've been saying this for years that like refused to have Kylo Ren in Wreck-It Ralph 2 because they're like, oh, having him in this will damage the brand and the IP. And then they do all this now, like
and Fortnite. Yeah,
they're
doing all that stuff.
Come on, man. They own Fortnite now. They own a massive stake in it. They have to do that. It's like paying a dowry. All right, Joe. Do you want to read your synopses?
So the one thing it pulls up is Cassian Andor will join the galaxy of stories aboard Disney's first Star Wars attraction. His presence promises thrilling moments and daring escapades. I'm going to ask it what daring escapades.
I like the names it Andor, Cassian Andor. We should name every Star Wars project now. Last name, first name, last name.
It's interesting. The one piece of factual information in there is that it's their original Star Wars ride. It's like it's just like grabbing for any piece of content it can regurgitate in there, but there's no real information. It's like your all these film synopsises are like it will have characters and a thrilling story.
It's very generic, much like Lucasfilm story group synopses.
Okay, while he's typing that in, I got the how to read the Dune series.
Oh no.
I'm not going to read each thing. Option 1, the sampler, the original Dune, recommended for those who don't want blank to get too weird. There we go. I'm censoring myself for you, Chris. You're welcome. Option 2, the Muad'Dib story, recommended for those who read Dune and know they weren't in it for the long run. Option 3, the Golden Path, which is Dune, Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, and God Emperor Dune. Recommended for anyone who wants enough time to waste to read a book of genuine. I can't read anymore. I got to zoom in. Okay, for anyone who wants enough time to waste to read 4 books of genuine fiction. And then finally, there's 2 more. And then I love Frank Herbert. Recommend, and this is everything plus Chapter House Dune, whatever the other one was, Heretics of Dune. I don't know. I stop after God Emperor because why? Recommended for those who like and respect Dune and are okay with loose ends. And then finally, reading every Dune book ever written. These are recommended for those who love Dune, but only because it has the word Dune in the title.
Hey, I can relate to that. Yeah.
It's like Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, read High Republic. It's got Star Wars in it. It's like, no, it doesn't. Stop it.
You know what I did while I had breakfast this morning? I watched 2 more episodes of The Bad Batch since we last talked about it.
There's an assassin.
Episode 4 and 5 I watched this morning.
Oh, there's not an assassin.
No, I didn't get to that. Yeah, I'm not caught up. Yeah.
My bad. Whoops.
Well, let me guess. There's a large beast of some kind that stops them from escaping from something or other.
I don't know, man. You're acting like I watch it.
They even made it in one of the episodes I watched. They even made a joke about like Wrecker's like, why is there always a giant creature? It's like, I know. That's what I'm wondering all the time.
Wrecker, did you read the script too? Did you?
So the only daring escapades that they state is the episode Crawling Through the Dirt, where Cassian and Melchi cling to the side of a cliff evading Imperial search parties. Filthy and barefoot, they determine to escape when Narcanian locals catch them. It seems they're trouble, but these cool-looking natives decide to defy the regime and to help Cassian and Melchi steal their ship.
I mean, they are cool-looking, even though they have a J.J. Abrams ship.
And then A Mother Lost. You can sit there and see things from B2 Emo's eyes as Marva is tragically dead.
I feel like I feel like it's pretty safe to say the Star Tours Andor will probably be like the heist at the dam. What was it like where they like robbed the train from gold or whatever? Like that's got to be that. Yeah.
You're telling me it's not going to be somebody throwing a brick?
That's the only thing that has like an action set piece with like vehicles.
What about is it going to be Luthen? Is it going to be the Luthen like I'm going to blow up an Imperial like Star Cruiser like single-handedly?
I don't know. That was just like
Luthen.
Yeah, you had it right the first time. Right.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Zach's ambivalence to Andorra is making me want to just rewatch it right now. It's like just on principle. I might just do that. Yeah.
I know. I already pre-ordered the Kenobi and Andor 4K steelbooks because I am like, oh god, what's my tombstone state, Chris? I am a problem and I can't. It's
something about not being able to help yourself and being a broken person.
I am a broken person and can't resist.
Yeah.
Yes, that is exactly it. Every single time I swipe my credit card to help the Empire be defeated by the rebels, I am a broken person and can't resist. And transaction completed.
Now that I know it says the complete series on it, I almost want that Kenobi one too, just because that's funny as hell. That's great.
No. Even though it's ironic, we can't will this into existence. No, I am, as I just told you, I pre-ordered my copy. I am calling for a boycott as well. Do not encourage this by any way, shape, or means.
I'm gonna make the meme and not buy it. But
can you actually file a class action lawsuit if they make more episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Put that in the chat GPT.
Well, we'll see how the Gina Carano lawsuit pans out. Maybe Ewan McGregor can try and strong arm Disney into making more episodes. Since if she successfully gets put back in The Mandalorian, he might have a case.
She just gets digitally added into every episode in the background.
Yeah, she's been doing interviews where she's like sort of spilling the beans on like personal conversations she had with Pedro Pascal, where he was like advising her what to say on her social media for the masses to like leave her alone and stuff. You gotta wonder how he feels about those conversations coming out.
Well, how was she having him with me? Wasn't on set.
Yeah, this is like
was he phoning it into her too?
This was like during the like few months where they actually were on set together of the whole 4 seasons. Yeah, probably season 1 and early season 2. That's a good point, though. Like her big episode where they like fight the ATST, he was not even cast yet when they filmed that.
Really?
Amazing. What a time to be alive.
All right, Chris, check just so you know what you're missing in the Bad Bunch. We're getting some. Oh God! Just so as Chris looks at this in real time, we're getting some incomplete animation in the Bad Bunch season 3. So I'm gonna let Chris and Zenger look at this. I don't know if Joe's still working on devising the Star Tours attraction for Calrissian Endor.
Are they editing out guns now?
I don't think they're not editing them out. They're animating. They're not animating them. Some sort of weird preemptive censorship, maybe.
I mean, I did notice.
Now that's a reference.
I think they were doing this a lot in Clone Wars too, but you do notice like when they have a lot of the wide shots where you see like a planetary vista or something, there's not really like moving camera because they can make like a 2D piece of art and save like hours. And I don't think that's really new. And it sort of gives it that sort of like matte painting look, but like, man, does that save time and money. And I did notice a lot of that in the last two. Floating helmet's pretty funny. It's almost like the they're just leaving crew members in the background. You know what? That's a good point. That was a big one that I never heard about. That since we last recorded, this screenshot from episode 3 of like a crew member over Anakin's shoulder went mildly viral. I don't know if you seen this. You heard about this, guys? No, there's like 2 frames in episode 3 where you can see a crew member over Anakin's shoulder like during the duel. His face just pops out of nowhere over Anakin's shoulder. It's very, very awkward. And it's just made it through every version until it's the current Disney Plus one.
Well, you got to keep it in because, I mean, you have the whole bumping the head thing. They need to meme it. They need to have a new meme.
Well, I think this really just went unnoticed until recently. Like, I don't remember ever hearing about this.
Lucas is outside the ranch just banging on the door. Let me in.
He's like, I gotta remove this guy. I mean, the thing is, I wonder if they do it, right? Because like they did it for like their one Mandalorian episode where there was like a guy's arm out through a door. They did paint it out and repost that.
You mean for Revenge of the Sith?
No, they fixed the Mandalorian episode.
No. Yes, I know about that. But you mean like they're going to try to go back and fix Revenge of the Sith?
I don't know. Like, do they? I mean,
they can't. They have to. They'd have to go through the Directors Guild or whatever. They would. There's no way. They'd have to. Lucas would have to sign off on that.
He probably would.
He probably would, but he's not going to trust them to do it. If they were to give it to him,
this is my ideal scenario. He comes in for like a week just to remove the 2 frames. It's like, oh man,
just cuts everything to pieces.
I want to know everything that happens.
He storms in like okay.
George Lucas storming in is the most amusing thing I can think of.
This is my fantasy scenario. The legality of him coming in to fix those 2 frames enables him to make more changes, and he just adds in like half the deleted scenes and just goes crazy.
He goes in there with a company of Macquarie stormtroopers and takes over Disney headquarters. And the Macquarie concept. He goes, I'm the captain now.
Exactly. It's Captain Phillips. He walks in. Look at me.
This is a hostile takeover.
Zenger, do it. Look at me.
Oh man! Would you look at me? I'm the General Sal's chicken now.
We're going to reinstitute rotisserie chicken Fridays.
I just, I mean, like, I hope he just still, like, I remember the reports of him, because he still owns the ranch, I think, and there was reports of him just hanging out there, just talking. There's reports of him just in the cafeteria with guests, just talking about the sequel trilogies, and at 53 minutes. All right, and I just hope that he's still just loitering there, like, giving his friends tours and just, like, being obscene and loud.
He's there. Is that true? Is he really owns the building still? Lucas in Disney's.
No, he even owns the
funniest
archives.
Thing to ever happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he still owns the archives, like all the props from the 6 movies, like in a warehouse.
Are we sure that Lucas just like maybe this whole thing from like with Bob Iger like 13 years or 12 years ago is just like an illusion? Like he still owns all this. He just let Disney, like that's what he does. He let Disney buy the company, but he's been behind all of this so that he would never have to take the flack for any of this. All of it's him. Lucas, Palpatine is still behind it all.
I'm 99% sure he still owns the ranch.
Oh, right. No, I got it. George Lucas Education Fund is based at the ranch. Skywalker Sound remains based at the ranch, for which Lucasfilm pays a rental fee to George Lucas. Who remains the property owner, although Lucas maintains his office. Oh, Lucas has his offices there. He does not reside at the ranch, though.
Yeah, he goes there in his pajamas every Thursday and sits there and talks crap. He does that.
I wonder if his Frank Frazetta original of The Death Dealer is still there in his office, and no one's allowed to look at it when he's not in the office, which is 3 days a year he's in there.
The idea of Lucas having an office, it's like, imagine like having like your ex-wife owns like an apartment building and you still like lease a room there. It's funny as hell. Like, how is it? I've never known this.
And his office is probably like a quarter of the whole place.
Like, what happens with like what happens like with the interns? Like, what happens like with like when Cowboy Hat Man's there being like, okay, so we're gonna have Ahsoka fight Force Ghost Anakin maybe in the Infinite Void, and he just overhears this. Lucas just bangs on the wall. Knocked her off in there.
Don't make me get the hose.
like when Cowboy Hat Man.
I would have done it better.
There's moments when Cowboy Hat Man gets writer's block and he starts imagining Lucas like Obi-Wan on Hoth with Luke Skywalker. Except,
dude, what was that?
What would you have done? What? I don't have a Cowboy Hat Man voice, but it's like, what would you have done, George? Well, I would have done it better because, I mean, I'm the original. Also, I'm physically here right now. I'm not a ghost.
I don't know, Zach. You remember? I don't know what company made that. They did like a interview, a long form interviews documentary with Marsha Lucas. I heard that just came out on physical media.
Yeah. Star Wars on Earth, I think it's called.
Yeah, or like Legends on Earth. It's not a Lucasfilm documentary.
No, it's not sanctioned.
Yeah, I heard you can buy a physical copy of that now.
It was it was on Tubi for like forever for free. That's how I watched it.
By the way, since I looked that up, it did give me, what does George Lucas do with all his money?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Well, the museum is still happening. Yeah, the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art is still happening, and it's going to be amazing. Like, just the collection of stuff he has that is not from Star Wars or his movies is like shocking. It's going to be good.
According to this, it says that Star Wars creator George Lucas has largely retired from filmmaking. I think that should have been just retired.
Well, he's making movies that only 10 of his friends are allowed to see, and you'll never see them.
Oh, good. Disney's 2012 for $4.1 billion in stock and cash. Lucas is now focused on philanthropy and his
philandering.
Yes, that too. His charitable family foundation has more than $1 billion in assets. So, yeah, I guess that's what he's doing with it. What's Mark Hamill doing with his money?
Counting it?
Yes.
I love it. It's so fun that we're now in the phase of Mark Hamill just basically hates Star Wars. It's like,
it's delightful.
Yeah,
took long enough, but we're finally there.
Him and Harrison Ford are like, oh God, just they're both angry old men now.
I think Harrison Ford, if you like try and talk, like when people try and talk to Harrison Ford now about Star Wars, he just doesn't even hear them. It's like his ears just phase out any mention of Star Wars now.
It's not his ears; it's his hearing aid.
Well, I don't know. He can talk about other stuff, but it's like there's some great interviews where they bring up Star Wars, and you're just like, what? Come again?
He has them omit that as soon as it says Star Wars. What? I think he can't hear it after that. He's on delay.
On Friday, I was at Toronto Comic Con, and the one Star Wars guest that was there was Dennis Lawson.
Oh.
Who? Wedge Antilles, Zenger.
Get off this call.
Yeah. Okay. You know, star of episode 9. You might know him.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
Nice shot, Lando.
But and so my buddy has a comic book store, and he had a booth there, and he's like, Chris, you won't believe this. This guy just came over here and showed me his like Star Wars poster that he's getting all the actors to sign, and he rolled it out for me. And he did that like mail away Harrison Ford autograph for like $1,000 like last year, whatever it was. And he goes, but it was a New Hope special edition poster. And then he just like bursts into laughter. He's like, can you believe this guy? You didn't just get a low grade original poster from 77. He paid Harrison Ford $1,000 to sign a special edition poster. And we just had a good laugh about that for about 5 minutes, and like how crazy this person was for not getting an original poster.
I will say that I take back what I said earlier in this call. That might be the most Chris Porteous comment ever. That might be like, Chris is not wrong. That is funny as hell for someone to like waste $1,000 on getting something signed that does not matter.
A special edition poster is not worth the cost of the paper it's printed on. People don't, they're free. They're actually free. And you could get a 77 poster, like the Hildebrand one with like, maybe the edges are a little rough. It's like $200. You're spending $1,000 for the Ford autograph. Have some taste. But anyway.
This one places.
Truly the most Chris Porteous comment ever.
It's rough, man.
All right. We have to talk about the fact in the last episode, we talked about there being a Star Wars video game and it was canceled before the episode even had a chance to debut.
Oh, that was great. Yeah,
like I said, classic Lucasfilm.
Yeah, they're like Mandalorian game, and then I'm like, isn't it a crime that hasn't already existed for years? They must hate money. Canceled. That's what I said. That's what I said last episode. It's great. You can't make this stuff up. It's awesome. You know what they're like? They're probably like, oh, it's like a single player campaign where you play as like a Mandalorian bounty hunter and just go around like collecting bounties and doing awesome stuff. This sounds way too fun. We just can't make it.
This is too good. Get rid of it.
You guys actually want to make money?
Because it was supposed to be done by Respawn, who, like, that's the one, right?
How many years in was this, Like, will we get video? Like, I want them to cancel something where they've done, like, a 5-minute gameplay trailer, like 1313. Like, just get something done and then cancel it. That's what I want. That's just really incite outrage.
Oh! I mean, they could definitely cancel that upcoming one. Really,
that's real soon,
riot.
Isn't it? That comes out this year,
like
supposedly.
This year,
right?
Yeah, like Star Wars Outlaws or whatever it is, or Outer Banks or whatever the crap it's called.
Outer Banks.
Star Wars Outer Banks.
Yeah, that's had a gameplay trailer. Maybe that would really ruffle some feathers if that got canceled. I'm gonna get that. For sure.
I mean, it's Ubisoft, so it will be on sale by the time, you're listening to this episode. You beautiful people, you.
I don't see how that could go badly at all. I mean, like, it's like the trailer looked awesome. Sure, they have some Jabba's Palace stuff, so like you're gonna get like a slightly nerfed version of Jabba's Palace, whatever that means in the current year. But like everything else will probably be exactly.
Ula's taking a leak that weekend.
Yeah, even though she's technically alive at this point in chronology, but yeah, she's not gonna be there. Safe bet.
And Bib Fortuna won't be fat.
Oh
well, yeah, he shouldn't be yet. He was pretty lean back then. Yeah. Speaking of which, Zach, I will trade you that fat Bib Fortuna for several Dune popcorn buckets.
Oh yeah, I gotta give an update. Okay, so we should say that like the ongoing thing between Chris and I and fat Bib Fortuna, here it comes. It's getting held up to the camera in 5, 4, 3, 2. There he is in all of his delicious glory.
Nice
Chris, I went to 2 different AMC's. The Dune popcorn bucket's done. Like that came. I don't know.
I knew you took too long to get them.
I know, but you know what makes me mad is like I said a couple of weeks ago, that thing was like floating around for like a month prior to Dune 2 for the Part 1 re-release, and then like the opening weekend for Part 2, it just disappeared. I was even threatening my girlfriend, saying like I'm gonna have to sell yours, and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "I need fat Bib Fortuna." Like. Relationships come and go. Fat Bib Fortuna is forever.
I was going to say, like, if you didn't leave the theater with at least 2, you're
I'll put that down. But, nobody cares about that. Okay, slightly better. It's still a Funko Pop. So, like, it's one step above a special edition New Hope poster. Zenger's like, guys, I sent my A New Hope Funko Pop to Harrison Ford to sign for $1,000. Okay, now that's a treasure.
Yeah, the giant one.
Yeah. The giant porg that Ellie hates.
Oh God, he hates it so much. I should put it around the house again.
You should put him like Zenger. Do you have a garden outside?
No.
Put him outside so it scares the crows away.
To market it as a porg on a porch.
This is real. You guys, this will be very unexpected from you guys. But like I once saw like these 2 plush porgs on extreme deep discount clearance, and they had little baby porgs like stitched onto their feet, so it looked like they were like sitting on a nest. And I was like, they were like, I'm talking like they were like $2 each. So like I got 2 of them and I like stuck them like up in like they're up in like the ceiling grid of like the like lighting equipment of a studio I work at, and like no one saw them for like years. And then like a coworker saw them recently and thought they were like real like raccoons or something up there, and like they were like terrified by this like porg nest, and now it's become like a point of contention, and they want them to be removed because I think they get freaked out every time they see these little black eyes up there. But they lasted up there in their little porg nest for like 2-3 years. It was good.
Porg nest.
What did they eat?
I don't know, but they look real at a distance. Yeah.
Chris, what you gotta do is drop some like yogurt on the ground, like some vanilla yogurt, like right under them. Yeah, really throw everybody for a loop.
I mean, you just think they're like squirrels or something at a distance. It's really unsettling.
Yogurt is perfect.
You've thought this through too much.
It'll get that smell too once it dries. It'll be perfect.
The real move would just be some white paint, so it's like a permanent art exhibit, basically. Like you just always think that something's going on there.
Wait, do I need to do it with my flock of porgs then?
Yes, you need to start painting pork poo everywhere.
Like if you put it high enough, it's really hard to tell that it's not real.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the Funko Pops with them sitting on things that say Star Wars is the dead giveaway.
Yeah, these things are like plush and they look pretty good at a distance. And
Chris, you gotta take a picture of this. You can post that when the episode debuts.
Sure.
Oh my god. All right, is there any other Star Wars news out there, or are we scraping the barrel at this point?
Star Wars Visions 2 is out.
Hasn't that been out?
It's been out.
It has been
so long.
I thought I was like, whoa.
Just I saw the first one to the party.
In the chat, I was like, I'm watching Star Wars second season of Visions, and no one responded to me. I'm like, oh, okay. Some people are sleeping. Okay. I'm all happy. I watched like 6 episodes. I'm like, oh, this is boring. Why am I watching this?
Yeah, you need to go watch the first one. It's a lot better. Oh,
I saw the first one. But the second one was like, man, oh man. Wanted something nice to happen.
Oh yeah, it was us talking.
Nice to happen.
It was us talking about like what's the record and what are we doing for it? And you're like, Visions 2's out.
Yeah.
No response.
I know. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna watch it then.
And I remember seeing you say that too, and I remember consciously not responding to it. But I think that if we're wrapping up, I think what people really need to think about is like, May is coming faster than you can think. And like, you really have to figure out which person who's never seen a Star Wars you're going to bring with you to the episode 1 theatrical release, so that we can, get some fun commentary on.
Wait, when is
May 3rd?
I think it's May, first week of May. Yeah.
When is May?
First
4th?
Friday of May. Friday.
Yeah, but May the 4th is the day.
Saturday. Oh, Chris, remember that rumor you sent? Apparently there's more and more credence to like May 3rd, they're doing The Phantom Menace, which is like a nationwide thing. Then the 4th, they're apparently doing like in select theaters, the original trilogy re-released in 4K. And then the 5th apparently is the prequels. So it's still not officially announced, but like that rumor is getting louder and people are like lending credibility to it. So
it will be the first time episode 2 and 3 have been back to theaters, even though it'll be extremely limited by the sounds of it.
Yes.
If it even happens.
If it even happens, it's going to be limited.
Well, y'all know what you need to do. You know what's missing from this massive Star Wars theatrical re-release? Any Disney era films. It's almost like they know what the people want to see,
They realize they can cash in on nostalgia. I can't wait for The Rise of Skywalker in 2035.
Opening night.
Oh, 100%. Me talking to the youth about how unintentionally brilliant it is, and the youth being like, yes, Zach, you are correct.
Yeah, there'll be a popcorn bucket of Lando's giant shoe that he drives around the desert.
No, it's a giant popcorn bucket of the ostrich that's driving it.
I thought it was like just a Muppet of some kind. I didn't know.
Well, okay, giant ostrich Muppet. Tell me the difference in what we're trying to get at here.
I just remember like a puppet that looked like Beaker or something.
Yeah, he's like, it's like It's like drive. Like the theater. There's somewhere I have my recording from opening night, and that happened, and the entire theater burst out laughing, and I can't tell if it's laughing with it or at it.
Oh, it's always at it. Definitely always at it.
Oh God, I gotta go find that recording now.
Once in a while, we talk about episode 9, and I'm like, man, that really happened. That really was a movie that I could watch at any time for my subscription service that I pay for. It's fascinating that it was all real.
Do I own it on physical media?
I can imagine that Lucas's office at the ranch is right next door to the screening room. As that's happening, he overhears Oscar Isaac say somehow Palpatine returned, and once again you hear the his banging against. It's like someone's like, "What is that?" And Dave Cowboy Hat Man's like, "Lucas, George isn't happy." That's how he gets notes. The louder the bang against the wall.
It's his head, not his hand. My boy. Killed my boy.
He's got every room mic'd, and he's not just hearing it through the walls. He's got every room mic'd in the ranch. That's why he still comes in the office. But yeah, I don't he never had a problem with bringing Palpatine back. I remember reading something about Dark Empire from like the early 90s where they were throwing around the idea of having the Imperial Remnant like have a new guy wear a Vader suit to like trick their enemies that Vader like was still alive and came back. And apparently Lucas vetoed that.
Oh God, I can just see it now. It's like oversized for the person though.
Well, it'd probably be a new armor since they melted the other one. But that was like an early idea.
They did that already. It was Darth Helmet. They already did. Yeah. They already did all this.
And well, it's also Kylo Ren too in a way. But like,
I was gonna make that joke, but I showed Brashon.
Yeah, but the interesting, I brought it up because back then Lucas didn't even like the idea of bringing back Vader in the sense of it wasn't actually him. But he was all right with clone Palpatine, even in the early 90s. He was like, yeah, just bring back Palpatine as a clone. Checks out.
There's a title of Star Wars Leaks Reddit page that says, Star Wars KOTOR remake isn't coming out for over a year. And like,
it's the same team that this debacle. Thank God KOTOR doesn't have freaking online.
But I like how like the second most upvoted comment is more like isn't coming out, period. Somebody gets it.
We can only hope. That's going to be one of the worst days ever when that finally does come out in like 25 years. I'm going to be real upset.
Duke Nukem Forever of Star Wars games.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe after like a new cultural cycle, they won't feel like they have to rewrite the script for that game because they'll come around to the fact that it was already perfect the first time. But right now, they're convinced they need to rewrite the script, which shows how heavily out of touch they are. So that's why I don't even want to see it.
Are you suggesting that they were never out of touch?
Zach, your entire worldview as a Star Wars fan would be very different if you played Knights of the Old Republic in 2003.
Would it?
You just wouldn't even be the same person. Yeah.
I would not be the same person. I don't know. My 2003 Star Wars video game was like the Clone Wars with the Dark Reaper project. And I was pretty happy with that. And Yul Keldroma is like a weird hologram.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I maybe played it a year after it came out and like it was just game changing. It's just, it's better than almost anything as far as expanded universe material. But what can you do? You can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink.
I did consider getting a Nintendo Switch just so I could get that like 6-pack they have of like KOTOR, Republic Commando, Force Unleashes. I think Jedi Outcast is in there as well. I forget.
There's a thing called a computer.
No, I don't do that. I'm not a nerd. Every time I think of a computer game, I think of like booting up like a Windows 95, like Packard Bell, like CPU. Like, sorry. Like when I think of PC gaming, that's what comes to mind. It's called.
You're right. I should play the remake of Dark Forces.
Zach, if you'll play KOTOR, I will send you a Switch.
This is like, I will send you a Switch and FatBit Fortuna. Zach, I will bribe you into playing this game, Zach, if I have to.
I have 2 Switches and neither have been turned on in over a year. I will send you a Switch if you'll play KOTOR. Anyways.
Imagine Chris has like the custom slip. It's like sending this to friend is weird passive bribe.
I swear I'm not selling it.
I'm not selling it. It's a bribe.
Yeah.
It's not a gift.
You're just going to have to come up with more than one Dune popcorn bucket for that Switch. That's just,
geez. More than, like I told you, I can't even find more than the one I have. Joe's going to 3D print me one. We just have to figure out how to work on the weird rubber little like
danglies.
I was watching a film thread video and Chris Gore has 2 of them behind him on his like permanent like streaming setup. I'm like, God damn it. I missed the window, man.
The only thing is interesting because I was thinking about that. I don't even think they would have sold me 2 opening night. I think they were. That's the thing I gotta say. That even like looking, unless there weren't that many people with them opening day. Like there was a handful. Like there was one guy legit with it with the popcorn. It's like, what kind of sick freak are you? But like, because they weren't even letting you like. That's the thing. They were specific. Like when I ordered it, like this is a weird story. I'm like, oh, so like I tell because my girlfriend wanted the popcorn bucket more than me. And she's like, well, we have to get the popcorn bucket. So I'm like, okay. So I go to the concessions person. I'm like, I want the Dune popcorn bucket, but can we get like an additional order of popcorn? So like basically 2 different orders. And she's like, oh yeah, no problem. So she literally gives us the Dune popcorn bucket and then gives us 2 full things of popcorn in the regular like cardboard container. I'm like, well, now I feel like even more of a pervert. Like what kind of weirdo walks around with 2 popcorn things now? I'm like, this made it awkward. Now I'm just like, well, I didn't know you could just ask for the cardboard and they would give that to you and the other one. So AMC was prepared, man. Gotta give that the world's largest theater chain some credit there.
Well, you know, the kids at the popcorn desk are on. They know that bucket went viral. They're ready. The management doesn't know, but the kids know.
Yeah, they probably got them in their basement.
Should we end on that note? That note? Oh, God. So conclude this episode of Knights of Vader, a Star Wars podcast. Check out the Facebook group. Find us on Instagram at KOV Podcast. Send Chris a picture of your Dune popcorn bucket. If you like what you hear, please rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes or Spotify, whichever you prefer. Thank you to An Insperiority Complex for providing our theme song. Check out the show notes to hear more from them. When you're not listening to me on this podcast, that's it. You're done. Like, in the words of Chris, if Zack is not on the podcast, I forfeit the podcast. Weird endorsement. But when you are not forfeiting the podcast for my lack of presence, Chris, what are you up to?
I am busy working on our either next or one following episode of Knights of Vader, and you know I don't mind teasing it. We're trying to do something real good and real fun for our May episode. So if you haven't noticed, we're sort of getting one out per month right around the end of the month, and I'm going to try and maintain that schedule. So you know we're working on some new stuff.
Oh, we didn't mention Ahmed Best is doing something as Jar Jar Binks.
It was EA, right? So it's for a game, so maybe it'll just never come out.
It's the idea. Like Chris, what was the comment you made? What did you say about Disney era Jar Jar Binks?
I don't remember, but I was probably afraid of it. I don't know.
The comment was Jar Jar was perfect as is. Disney Jar Jar is an abomination.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, they're going to, like, oh my God, hopefully they don't try and, like, make some sort of statement with Jar Jar. Like,
they will. Oh, they will. He's going to be the one doing the acolyte. He'll be the narrator. Let me tell you all about the High Republic.
Didn't they already, like, basically kill him in one of the novels? Like, he was homeless or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not dead, but he's like a drifter. Like, he's very much an outcast.
It's amazing to me.
Cause it.
All right, Zenger, when you're not being a real life Blofeld, what are you up to?
Zygnus will be making its triumphant return soon with us discussing Has Been Hotel. So if you haven't watched the hellaciously amazing musical TV show on Amazon, go check it out. And then check out Zygnus sometime in the future.
I look forward to the Zengies 2024.
It's a thing.
It was a thing.
It was.
Joe, when you are not sending us screenshots of how much the Dune popcorn bucket's going for on eBay and realizing I probably could buy a Fat Bib Fortuna off eBay at this rate, what's going on with you?
Well, I just want to give everyone a status update.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm laughing at.
Status update on the whether or not we can file
In
for.
real Chris, go find that eBay listing and do a proper screen cap of it.
Please tell me it's like lightly used.
I don't know, but if it's coming with the thing I think it's coming with, I think you shouldn't buy it for $120.
Well, that's
Okay.
that's half the price right there.
Oh boy, but no. ChatGPT says that it cannot give me legal advice whether or not you could file a class action lawsuit if they have any more episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi after you buy the Steelbook. So we're gonna have to consult another lawyer.
Implying that ChatGPT is our lawyer.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Good night, but not goodbye. And as always, may the Force be with you.